Well, abstract art with elements of collage are making their home here at the Soul Gallery in the Exchange District over the next couple of weeks. It's part of a new exhibition called Prayers and Secrets, where the artist channels expressions of, fittingly, the soul into her works. That artist is sitting right beside me here, Katherine Bruce. Thank you so much for taking the time.
I'm delighted.
I'm glad.
Thank you for your time.
I'm also so glad to be here. So it's really striking to look around at all of these works and see all the different elements, and we can get into those in a bit more detail in just a little bit, but maybe to start off, what does art mean to you in your spiritual journey as we talk about prayers and secrets?
Could you start with a simpler question? What does art mean to me in my... It seems to be my life. Prayer is my life. So they go together hand in hand. I can't do art until I feel something within me, which some people would call prayer, call it lots of different things, but definitely I learned that a few years ago, having to sit quietly and just sort of feel like, where am I, what's coming to me, how do I feel, before I would start to paint. Otherwise, it would just be like, big mess, start over tomorrow, big mess, you know. So more and more I've gotten kind of in tune with what needs to come through me.
And part of that, I'm sure, happens through a process of prayer. How did prayer enter the equation?
Well, you're pulling on that word because it's part of the title.
Yes, I am.
So, it's difficult to kind of like, that title, like my paintings, it arrived, okay? Like,
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Is prayer then the wrong words for what how you describe your spiritual process then? How would you maybe describe how you channel those inner workings of the soul and the connection to inspiration, something of the divine inspiration even?
I'm endeavoring to carry with me a sense of love that just flows all the time. When I go into my studio, I just fall in love with the materials. I am in love with the materials. I'm in love with curiosity, you know, like, and exploration and discovery and what all these things what the materials can be doing, what my hand can be doing, what happens after I do that.
Right.
You know, and it's listening. Listening.
So it sounds as though almost your prayers are less towards some sort of deity as much as they are towards the muse, the creative force behind the works that are presented here. And you talk about that sort of, I'm even going to extend that metaphor to say into the communion that you have with the materials that you use. And there are a wide variety of materials that I can see in your works. Maybe you can walk us a bit through the process of choosing which materials are gathered together in specific pieces and what that choice moment looks like.
Well, the pieces in this particular show, right? Starting with canvas, starting with acrylic paint, and starting with play. And that's all there is to it. I throw a canvas on the floor, usually.
Okay.
I throw some paint on the canvas, and that's the beginning of the action.
Okay.
It roars. It roars.
It seems that way as we admire the works around, and it roars in what looks like unexpected ways too. Because in addition to having you have the acrylic, you have the various sort of what you might expect from abstract art, but then there are elements as well that you might not expect. There's a piece actually in behind me here, I think, that has what looks like a receipt or something embedded within it. Is that a product in the midst of that roaring? Is that something you go, yep, that too? Or
Well,
is there some more thought behind that?
The collage has always surprised me. It always is. It may not be in that beginning roar, but it usually comes closer to the end after I've slowed down, but there's still the magic happening. And the collage aspects of anything I do are a total, well, man, like, I don't know where that's coming from. But it's like, I will just flip open a magazine and I'll see something, tear it, put it up, and go like, that's perfect. Like, how could that have just occurred? You know what I mean? I mean, to me, it's magic. Yeah.
In preparation for this show, were there ever any moments where you, in the midst of that roaring and trying everything out, was there ever moments to say, oh, that's not magic, that actually doesn't work? And then how do you complete the prayer in order to make it something that is worth demonstrating? Or are those maybe the secrets that are a part of the title? Those.
Well, they could be part of the secret. There are rough times in every piece.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say so.
Wow.
The biggest piece I have here took me 2 years.
Wow.
It went through a lot of roughness. But, you know, we don't go up a hill without going down a hill and up another hill. You know, that's what life is, right? And I think an artist has to get to that point where they realize there's no mistake. There is no like, oh shoot, I really blew that. Yeah, I'll leave the studio often and go like, whoa, I don't know where that's going and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. But I'll come back later and just start again, working from what's there. I don't ever sort of wipe something out and go like, oh, I've got to totally start over. It's always a response. It's a conversation, you know, it's responding to what's there. And also, after you've worked on something for a while, you have to like let it go. You have to like step back. It has to kind of dry a bit because it changes how it looks once it's dry. And then you kind of like go back in and take a new vision, have new vision, new heart, new day. The sun is shining today instead of raining, you know, that kind of thing.
So then within the 2-year process of the large painting that you can see in the video right above my head here, so that's 2 years and a lot of work and a lot of, well, secrets that make up a piece like that. And the same is true, I'm sure, on even a smaller scale for the other pieces that are present here in this exhibition. When you look at these pieces now, all arranged as they are, what do you see most as maybe, is it a completed journey, or is it a collection of secrets, or is it something else entirely?
All of that sounds good to me.
That's yours.
You're good putting things into words. It is a completed journey. I mean, I definitely get to a point where like, yep, that's done. I'm not touching that, you know?
Sure.
I may get to that place 1 month and then a month later go like, like I'm looking at this piece right here beside us and yeah, like some little, the subtlest changes come after it's been hanging on a wall and I've just noticed it out of the side of my eye. And I go like, oh, it just, you know, so, but then it's completed and I just go like, thank you, you know, like.
Thank you to who? Thank you to yourself.
Thank you to
to
myself.
the
Thank
muse.
you to the universe. Thank you, call it.
There are going to be
Call it
lots
God,
of
call it
sure.
spirit, call it, yeah, I love it all.
Okay.
I'm in love with God.
Yeah, right, that.
Universe,
Yeah, certainly.
myself,
It's all
and
one.
everything. Yes.
It's all one. Okay.
Yes, yes.
There are going to be plenty of people who will come in here, and as is often the case with works of abstraction, they will get to ascribe their own sorts of meanings to it, their own interactions with the muse that contributed so much to the works here. What do you hope that encounter is like for them?
I hope they can stand in front of one piece quietly and feel something, and just feel something within. Respond, like these pieces want to have a conversation with you. So, the person viewing has to have the willingness and openness to kind of just be there with it, listen, feel.
What is it about this place, the Soul Gallery, where these pieces are being exhibited, that might invite that kind of openness that you're saying is a very helpful tool when interacting with the pieces in Prayers and Secrets?
Well, it's a beautiful building, right? We're in downtown Exchange part of Winnipeg, which I love. My first studio in Winnipeg was just a block away in the Art Space building.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I had another one over on Portage Avenue East, a building being totally renovated now. So for me, being in these buildings down here is a thrill. This is a beautiful gallery. It's it's beautifully set up. I came in here today now to see this for the first time myself, and
Wow.
I'm just like, whoa, I'm so grateful.
What was that like, though?
Oh, it's just thrilling.
To be able to,
thrilling.
Yeah, to be able to walk in and see what the arrangement of these pieces will be
these
like.
are my kids, and I've loved them dearly. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really.
I want them to be in happy homes. They all deserve good homes, just like the kittens and the puppies, right?
Yeah, sure. So let's say that there is somebody who comes along and purchases one or more of these works, and they then take on a new life of sorts in a new space, and they get to be witness to so many of their own. I'm going to keep the title going here: Prayers and Secrets, that these pieces will get to encounter. What is maybe your biggest hope for the other secrets that maybe were as a part of the creation of the exhibit, but maybe didn't find their way to canvas for this show?
I'm not quite sure what you're meaning,
Sure, okay.
I have lots more works.
Sure. Well, that's right. So there are a lot more of what I'm getting at is there's probably a lot more process that goes into an exhibition like this than meets the eye. What do you do with those leftover prayers and those leftover secrets to help to create the next Katherine Bruce exhibition?
It's a good question. Every artist has to deal with this. We have storage buildings full of art.
Right.
Always happy to have people contact me and, come and see other works besides what's in the gallery. But really, this is the best place. If you're in Winnipeg, I hope you can come and see this. And
sure.
Yeah.
What do you think creating this exhibition has maybe enabled you to do when you think about your next artistic chapter that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do before?
I seem to be constantly on a journey, and I never really know. It's a big trust. I was a potter.
Wow.
I started off as a potter. I had no intention of painting, but I think I moved into sculpture, and I've moved over my lifetime. I've moved a lot, and it just seemed to get more complicated, carrying pottery wheels and kilns around and
Sure.
all that sort of thing. So I started painting more and more, and drawing. I love drawing, which I think shows itself in just a lot of the mark making I do and that sort of thing, and just the sculptural elements in the pieces are, they really are sort of sculptural to me.
Wow, there's just so much to take in with so many of these pieces with the elements. I mean, I'm looking at even the pottery, the literal pottery images that are captured in that painting, this time over your head. Another element that people can take in during Prayers and Secrets here at the Soul Gallery. We have more information up at our website, classic107.com, and the Classic 107 app. Katherine Bruce, such a delight to get to know these pieces a little bit better through you, and all the best as people come in and interact with, I'm going to say it one more time, your Prayers and Secrets.
Thank you. Thank you so much.